Hi, welcome to WakeTV. I'm your host, Andrew Sawyer, and we have a lot of great stories for you today. Stay tuned. In this episode, we're excited to have Vice Chair Greg Ford join us to talk about his priorities for this year with the Wake County Board of Commissioners. Here's our Communications Director, Dara Demai, with more.
Thanks, Andrew. On this edition of Wake TV, we have a very special guest joining us in the studio today. He is Vice Chair Greg Ford. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dara. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
So some of our audience members may not know you very well, so let's get to know you. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. Well, I was first elected to the board in 2016, but before that, I was a teacher and principal here in Wake County for about 20 years, teaching mostly middle school, and then served in elementary and K-8 schools in Wake County before running for office. And this is now my second term.
Well, we are glad that you are here on the board serving the community.
Thank you.
And you are new this year, having been elected by your fellow board members to the vice chair role.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? Why were you interested in pursuing an even greater leadership opportunity?
Sure. Every commissioner is already in a leadership role, and so to be selected among my peers as a member of the leadership team really is an honor and a privilege. And so I see the role of vice chair and chair, because we really are a team, as facilitators of the board. Our job is to make sure that the individual visions and values of each commissioner are honored and respected, and we're working together toward accomplishing our goals. And so that's our purpose.
So now that we know a little bit about you, let's talk about what you and your fellow board members would like to accomplish this year. In mid-January, you all had your first board retreat of 2019.
We did.
You were there, I was there.
That's
it
right.
was a great event.
It was.
We talked a lot about the board goals that the board has set for this year and years to come. You talked a lot about things that you had achieved and things you want to achieve. But what I thought was really interesting was the process and how you had those discussions to determine what those goals and objectives are. Tell us about how that worked and what you thought was so beneficial about it.
Sure. I'm really excited about our goals, but I do think it's helpful to talk about the process because staff spent a lot of time preparing for that process and getting our feedback on kind of best practices on how goals are best determined by a governing board. And so this process began weeks before the retreat, and that included getting each of our input on not only initiatives and priorities, but also how we'd like to work together. And so staff took all that feedback and created this really wonderful day-long event that involved collaborative breakout sessions where we were working together specifically on goals and objectives, initiatives, right down to action steps and timelines. Really hashing out what was most important in those areas and how would they be measured. And so that really helped give staff further definition on how to direct work in the year ahead as we work toward adopting those goals and getting started on that work.
One of the things that I thought was so cool that the county manager's office kept saying is, you tell us the what and we'll figure out the how. Did that resonate with you all as you were in your small groups talking about the board goals? Absolutely.
I think whenever you get elected officials together, we as a body like to talk about the what often. That's our role as a governing body, really to talk about what's the vision, what are the values of the community, and how can we best meet them. Professional staff's job then is to take those goals and execute the policies that we've established. And sometimes that can get a little gray, and that's where the collaboration and opportunities really come in. But having that clear definition that our role as a governing body is to set policy and direction and vision helped our work become more refined and more clear in the process of creating these goals, which I'm really excited about.
So at the retreat, you mentioned that the board broke out into small groups to discuss some of the board goals. One of the things that was interesting to watch is you could see where you all could check things off the list of objectives or initiatives under certain board goals that you had achieved over the past year. How did it feel to be able to see progress in a tangible way?
It was really exciting to see that, and I think it's important that we as an organization and the citizens that we serve see that we actually are accomplishing goals and tasks that we set forward to do and that we put resources behind. And there were a variety of areas where we were able to celebrate those accomplishments. So a few of them, for example, affordable housing is one. We committed in last year's budget $15 million to invest in affordable housing efforts. We created a new department to oversee the expenditure of those funds, but also to collaborate with our community partners to make sure that all of those resources were being brought to bear to have a positive impact on that. And we hired a new housing director, and she's fantastic and has jumped right in and has taken the mantle and is already aligning those resources and helping us meet those goals. But having that infrastructure in place was a goal of last year, and we achieved that, so we're able to celebrate that. Another is education funding. We had a successful passage of the education bond this past fall, and so we were able to ensure that the school system has all the resources it needs to continue to meet the growing demands of our county in new construction, but also very important renovation efforts in our existing schools. We have about 188 schools in the public school system. Many of them have very necessary renovations, and we want to make sure that every student has a high quality school building to learn and grow in. Another is energy savings. And so last year the board committed to ensuring that in future design and renovations of existing county inventory that our libraries and general services buildings have high quality and best practices of energy efficient designs and the latest materials to maximize those efforts, but also to ensure that county taxpayers are getting the best bang for their buck.
So as you were able to remove some of the completed objectives and initiatives off of the list, it gave you all some space as a board to create some new objectives and initiatives to put in their place, which is equally exciting because we always have new things that we're trying to achieve. So one of the board goal areas that I heard a lot of conversation that was particularly interesting was community health. A lot of that conversation revolved around improving infant mortality rates, as well as doing some really good work for behavioral health. So talk to us about the conversations that you and your board members had.
Yeah, so community health really is the basis of the quality of life that we're trying to achieve here in Wake County and ensure that more and more of our citizens have access to that high quality of life that we're really working toward. Physical and behavioral health really is the foundation of that vision. We have several crucial issues that we're working on here in the county. And one of them that is really taken a lot of energy and interest with our board is the infant mortality rate. We've had, in the last couple of years, 2015 and 2016, about 100 children die before their first birthday. An even more grim statistic is the infant mortality rate for African American children is 2.4 times higher. And so those are really significant issues that I think we need to address as a community. And so investing in resources and processes and infrastructure to make sure that moms and children get the health care that they need to be healthy and thriving is very crucial to this board. And so we are backing that up with goals and resources to make sure that happens. Another issue, of course, is behavioral health. That's an area where I'm of particular interest to me, and I am really excited about the behavioral health care plan that we, as a board, passed last year.
Looks great.
So one of our goals this year, thank you, is to ensure that this plan is implemented, and it involves a collaborative effort with all of our community partners, including Alliance Behavioral Health Care, which is the county's provider for behavioral health resources, among other things, and making sure that all of those resources are working together to meet the growing demand for behavioral health care needs in our community.
So under the social and economic vitality goal, the board talked a lot about helping our more vulnerable communities. What kinds of things do you and the rest of the commissioners want to see us do in these areas to help lift our whole community up?
Well, Wake County is really known for its high quality of life, and I think it's one of the reasons why we draw so many folks to this region. But we also know that high quality of life isn't accessible to everyone. We have many citizens who don't have the equity of opportunity that we'd like to make sure that they have access to. And so the board in our goal setting process has really put a lot of emphasis toward ensuring that we are improving those opportunities for advancement by giving folks kind of a hand up through economic development opportunities, particularly in Southeast Raleigh and also Eastern Wake County, and also in ensuring that our community college system is robust and also expanding its opportunities so that individual citizens have greater access to improving education and therefore their own lives.
So public safety is another important board goal, and some of the conversation that I heard was revolving around detainees in our jail and trying to help them re-enter the community in a successful way. So talk to us about what you all are thinking in terms of lifting them up and helping them out.
Yeah. Derek, it can be a real struggle for detainees leaving the jail system, coming back into the community and finding stable housing, secure food sources, and most importantly, a job opportunity so that they can sustain themselves and thrive in this community that we want to see everybody thrive in. And so the board has taken specific steps and has established a key goal with specific action steps to make sure that we are working with our community partners to ensure not only the stable housing and food supply, but really investing in job opportunities. And that's why we implemented the Fair Chance hiring ordinance, to make sure that detainees, once they've re-entered the workforce, have an opportunity to expand on those opportunities for jobs and have a fair shot at getting employment with the county. And so we're really excited about that as an initiative. And then, of course, expanding on greater opportunities for folks with our community and regional partners as well.
So I know education is a board goal that's very important to you as a former principal and teacher yourself, as well as many of the other board members. So what are some of the areas within the general board goal of education that you all would like to focus on this year?
Sure. Well, education is certainly a passion of mine, but I also believe all 7 commissioners as well, and it's over half our budget here in Wake County. Particularly this year, there was a lot of energy and interest in the idea of pre-K and ensuring that our youngest children are school-age ready. Because research is very clear that students that are prepared for kindergarten will be successful in kindergarten in the years to come. And so really investing in pre-K programs like Smart Start is a key initiative of this board this year so that we can expand those opportunities for all children, knowing that a quality, sound, basic education for our students really is the foundation of a healthy community and our economic growth in the future.
Absolutely, and this board has been so good about already investing in Smart Start, and this just would really take it up one more notch, it sounds like.
It really would, and working in tandem with the school system, of course, as one of our partners, key partners, is crucial to that. And the board is also committed to ensuring that the relationship with the Wake County Public School System Board of Education is open and candid, and we're having those conversations frequently to make sure that we're meeting not only the capital and construction needs, but also the operating side of ensuring that educational needs are met. Teachers and social workers and counselors and school psychologists and all those resources are there to make sure that the whole child's needs are being met.
So the board worked on updating the Great Government board goal during the retreat, and I always think of that board goal as how do we do what we do as staff and as a county better? So what were some of the things that you all talked about to help us do what we do every day better?
Right. Well, great government is really about transparency and best practices in working together. And the foundation of our great government goal really is about not only transparency and collaboration, but also the use of SMART goals in everything that we do. And SMART is an acronym for establishing goals that are not just broad-based, but they're actually SMART. And SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time-bound, so that by a specific point in time, we'd like to see an issue or an effort increase or decrease by a certain amount using certain tools to yield a certain outcome. And so really being that specific provides the board clarity in what it is we're trying to accomplish, but also provides staff direction in what they need to be doing to achieve that vision. And so we spent a lot of time at our retreat making sure that our goals were moving in the direction of being in that SMART format. And so we're really excited about that.
And strategic performance management is one of the ways that you all were discussing making sure that we do hit those targets that you set for us.
Right, right. And so another best practice, of course, is not just looking at a year-end in review, but also looking at quarterly benchmarks. Do we need to adjust those goals up or down? Are there additional resources that need to be applied or maybe even taken off because we found efficiencies that weren't anticipated? Or that maybe some county staff or one of our partners have pointed out. And so I'm particularly interested in the focus on celebrating and rewarding innovation. And so best practices in innovation, making government more efficient, more nimble, more fiscally accountable is an undergirding foundation of this goal as well.
And we have a very cool tool that is called the Transparency Portal here at Wake County that makes it easy for all of you to see how we're doing as we work to achieve these goals, objectives, and initiatives. You can find it very easily on our website, wakegov.com/transparency. And we've just launched this tool within the past 6 months, and I think it's a really neat thing for folks to be able to come and check out, don't you?
I agree. It's really exciting, and it's really aligned with our great government goal in ensuring increased transparency for our citizens so that they can actually progress monitor our goals and see that we are meeting targets along the way or not, and then giving us feedback along the way.
We want to thank you so much for joining us, Vice Chair Ford, today. We had a great time talking to you.
My pleasure, yes.
We hope you'll come on again soon.
Invite me back, I'll be here.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Each year between October and March, the Warmth for Wake program brings volunteers together who chop up firewood and deliver it to those who need it most all over the county. Weather permitting, volunteers meet every other Saturday throughout the winter to chop and deliver firewood. In addition to firewood delivery, Warmth for Wake also distributes new and gently used space heaters to residents in need. If you'd like to learn more about how you can help, please visit the website on your screen.
We want cake! We want cake! We want cake! We want cake!
You remembered to get the cake, right?
I thought you were getting the cake.
We want cake!
What? No cake?
Things are better when you plan. Learn more about what we're planning at planwake.org.
Now, we've got some exciting news coming out of Wake County Parks. Here's Alice Avery with Parks Director Chris Snow.
Hi, I'm Alice Avery, and we're here at beautiful Lake Crabtree County Park to talk to Chris Snow, Director of Wake County Parks, Recreation and Open Space, about an exciting announcement that the Wake County Park System has just made. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
So let's cut to the chase. What's the big announcement?
So the big announcement is that our program fees, most of our program fees are going away, which we hope will allow more citizens to come to our programs and enjoy our events.
That's great. So you did kind of a trial period at historic Oakview County Park where the fees went away. How did that go? Did you see a big change?
We actually did the trial at two parks, here at Lake Crabtree and at historic Oakview. There was some concern that people would sign up for the programs and then not show up because, and some people's thinking they hadn't invested in the program. That was not the case, and actually we saw attendance increase, and so that's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yes.
So what kinds of things are free now that were charged for before?
Educational programs, both group, so a scout group or a school group coming out, but then also our individual public programs. Those are the ones that are advertised on our website to the public. Our boat rentals here at Lake Crabtree, so several things folks can come and enjoy fee-free.
That's awesome. So there are some exclusions. Talk to us a little bit about what's not included.
So there are a few of our programs and events that we're still going to charge for. At Historic Yates Mill, the tours of the mill, since they're in conjunction with our nonprofit partner, Yates Mill Associates, there'll still be a fee for those. For our summer camps, the longer duration programs, we're still charging. For our picnic shelter rentals, classroom rentals, the rental of the overnight lodge at Blue Jay, so all those are excluded from the fee free.
Okay, so what's been the reaction so far from visitors?
So we're just kind of kicking this off in 2019, so actually went live to the public in January. So far what we're hearing is good, of course. We've gotten some really positive feedback from folks who think that it makes our programs more accessible, which is what we were going for to start with.
So as part of this, we've also changed the way people can pay for the programs that still are being charged for. Tell us how that's changed.
So one of the things we're trying to get out of at each individual park is the handling of cash. And so we are trying to steer people towards debit and credit card. They can also still pay by check. It just has to be routed to our downtown office, but we're trying to get away from the handling of cash.
Okay. So for more information about the cash handling and for also the programs that are available, how can people find that information out?
So the best way to find out about our programs, about the fee-free, and about the cash handling policy is to visit the county's website, www.wakegov.com/parks, and there's lots of information there.
Okay, great. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Did you know 1 in 30 baby boomers has hepatitis C? People born between 1945 and 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. Hepatitis C can hide in the body for years or even decades and can cause cirrhosis, cancer, and even death. The good news is hepatitis C can be treated. The first step is to get a simple, free blood test. Don't be a statistic. Visit wakegov.com/hepc today to schedule your free blood test. Are you hosting an event but don't have a convenient way to collect trash and recycling? Wake County is excited to announce a new event recycling program that's free for residents. Whether you're hosting a private event, wedding, neighborhood party, or even a festival, these portable stations include composting, recycling, and trash bins. To learn more about how you can reserve an event recycling station for your next gathering, visit wakegov.com/event recycling. The Wake County WIC program is excited to announce a major new development for the distribution of WIC benefits. eWIC offers a simple, safe, and convenient way for WIC clients to use their food benefits. The brand new eWIC cards replace paper food vouchers and work just like debit cards at the checkout. When you get to the register, swipe your eWIC card first to pay for WIC-allowed foods. For the first time, eWIC allows clients to buy as little or as much food as they need during each shopping trip. You can even check your benefit balance and identify WIC-approved products on your smartphone while you shop. To learn more about eWIC, please call 919-250-4720 or visit wakegov.com/WIC.
One of the most important things happening in Wake County right now is our Community Health Needs Assessment. In our next segment, you can learn how to have a voice in the future of health in Wake County.
We hear a lot about taking care of our personal health. You know, eating right, exercising, reducing risk factors such as stress. But you may be surprised to learn that transportation, housing, and job opportunities also impact the health of our community.
Just like you go to your doctor to keep tabs on your personal health, our county also benefits from regular checkups. But how exactly does that work?
Every 3 years, Wake County leaders complete a Community Health Needs Assessment to check the pulse of our region's top health and wellness needs. It identifies the biggest health-related challenges facing our community and provides a starting point for making improvements.
There are 6 phases in the study process.
The first 3 involve collecting and analyzing data to make sure we have an accurate picture of Wake County's strengths as well as opportunities for improvement.
Over the past few months, we've examined local health records and studied communities of similar size and demographics. We've also engaged with more than 3,000 Wake County residents and leaders through surveys and focus groups.
We are now entering the 4th phase. This is where you have a key role in helping us determine which health priorities our community should focus on in the next 3 years. You'll be joining several hundred others who are gathering in work sessions around the county or ranking their selections online.
This is an important part of the Community Health Needs Assessment because it's here where we turn data into action. After the rankings are complete, we'll have 2 final phases. The data, research, and rankings will be compiled into a report for community leaders. Then we invite you to join us as we work with Wake County residents to create and execute a plan to improve our top priorities.
But first, let's take a look at what we know so far. After reviewing data and listening to you, we identified 21 topics of concern in our county. One of the things that makes Wake County great is our diversity in both people and geography, which means there are different needs depending on where you live in the county. Shortly, you'll have the opportunity to explore all 21 topics, including information specific to your area, before ranking your top 3 concerns. Of the 21 topics, 6 rose to the top in the county as a whole. These include drug and alcohol use, family, community, and social support, mental health, getting health care, housing and homelessness, and transportation.
Okay, now it's your turn. In just a few moments, you'll have an opportunity to choose the 3 topics most important to you. Before you make your selection, we'll provide resources to help you make an informed decision.
So why are we asking you to choose just 3? We agree that all of the identified topics are important. However, we cannot address everything at once. That is why we have asked you to tell us what you think we should be focusing on for the next 3 years. And keep in mind that various groups will continue working on all of these topics.
Think carefully about which ones you'd most like to see improved in your personal, everyday life.
Thank you for taking the time to help us with the Community Health Needs Assessment.
Your work today will help make Wake County an even better place to live, work, play, and learn.
This spring, we'll share the results of the assessment and then get to work on taking your suggestions from thought to reality.
You can keep track of our progress as we complete the Community Health Needs Assessment and stay informed on how to get involved by going to wakegov.com/wellbeing.
That's all for this episode of Wake TV. Keep up with the latest Wake County news by visiting us online at wakegov.com/news. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube so you can always stay in the loop. We'll see you next time.